move right now.
That's my sister. That's my sister. Please let me go.
The officers began CPR, fighting to save the victim's life, but it quickly became clear that they were too late.
Victim appears to be beyond medical help here. Stand by.
It wasn't long before EMS arrived and confirmed what the officers had feared. The victim, 15-year-old Lakaija Williams, had succumbed to her injuries.
What was TOD?
Wait, what? Wait, which was Lakaija? Who's Lakaija? Is that a baby picture? That's Lakaija? Rest in peace, Lakaija.
To her injuries.
What was TOD?
348. That is a female Lakaija.
The police quickly secured the crime scene and immediately began their investigation.
Is there casings over there?
Do you guys know anything about what
That's my
happened?
sister.
That's your sister?
That's my blood sister. I don't know nothing. I just got here.
But if the shots came from in here, we're gonna have to walk this.
They were able to obtain surveillance footage from the area, and the moments leading up to the shooting were caught on camera. Right
You did
around
a shooting by a parking garage? Are you retarded?
the corner from the alleyway, 5 kids can be seen riding around on scooters at around 11:30 p.m. One of these kids was Lakaija. Her brother, the one in the orange shirt, was leading the way as the group turned into the alley. When he reached the end of the alley, he looked to his right and saw a mysterious group walking towards him. He immediately pulled a U-turn, as if he was trying to avoid them. When the group reached the intersection, one of the members looked down the alleyway, drew a handgun from his waistband, and shot 4 times. One of those bullets struck Lakaija in the back of the head. Both groups seemed caught off guard and scattered in different directions. Since the shooter had his face covered, the police were unable to get a positive ID. So, when Detective Brandon Romero was put on the case, his main objective was to hunt down the witnesses who
Yep.
were at the
Fucking retard!
scene, and hopefully they could identify the shooter. In the meantime, the dispatcher shared a general description of the shooter to all units.
Retard.
Information is a black male with a hoodie, black and white sweatpants, and dreads. That's all we have at this point.
Word quickly spread throughout the community of Lakaija's death, and her friends and family began showing up at the scene, looking for answers as to who did this.
I got her.
Since the police didn't have much information at this point, they asked Lakaija's family to visit the station the next morning.
I can tell you guys personally that we have a really good start on this case.
Did you guys get the video from the cinema?
Yes. Yeah, we got video and we watched. I mean, there's a guy right now actively pulling cameras after camera throughout the city. The only unfortunate thing is we can't positively identify the shooter's face.
If they ain't gonna talk,
But
there ain't nothing we can do.
we understand that there's going to be juvenile, young little kids that ain't going to want to talk to us as this moves forward. But at the end of the day, we'll get there.
Okay.
Trust me, we'll get there.
The family had important information to share with the detectives. They had reason to believe that Lakaija wasn't the intended target of the shooting. Instead, it was more likely that one of Lakaija's friends had angered a local gang member after a fight that had recently taken place. Unfortunately, they had no idea who was involved in the fight.
Do you have any idea when this fight was?
That was a couple weeks ago.
That was a couple weeks ago?
Although this information was useful, the detectives explained that speculation alone wasn't going to bring justice to Lakaija's killer.
Biggest and most important thing out of this whole thing is we have to work backwards, identify the people that she's with.
You gotta be able to prove stuff. It's great being able to have you guys pass on information, but that's called hearsay in the court's eyes. You can't go up on the stand and testify to that.
Right.
We have to hear it from the people that actually saw it.
So moving forward, if anything else comes up, names, please just call us. Or if you're able to talk to any of them that you know are there now for sure, and they're willing to talk to us, because at the end of the day, we gotta piece this together.
She was gonna be somebody. She was gonna go to the NBA. It ain't not a shadow of a doubt in my.
The WNBA.
I don't care what she had going on. What happened did not happen.
I just.
He said, I don't care what she had going on. This shouldn't have happened.
Want justice.
He did not care about a WNBA career.
At least I know that y'all are trying to figure out what's going on.
Trust me, we're doing it. I'm going on about 12 hours of sleep less. every day. So believe me, it's a priority, and there's a lot of work being put into it.
Detective Romero spent the next 48 hours organizing all of the security footage gathered from around the city, and he managed to follow the shooter's movements throughout the night of the murder. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary as the shooter spent the night roaming the streets of downtown Grand Rapids. He picked up some friends along the way, and eventually it was the same group of people that were present during the shooting. Unfortunately, Detective Romero still couldn't identify who this suspect was because of the mask he wore all night. However, after the shooting, about 2.5 blocks away from the scene of the crime, he was finally captured walking down the sidewalk without a mask on. He eventually met back up with his friends, and they got in a car and drove away. Now that he had a better shot of the shooter's face, Detective Romero asked Lakaija's sister and one of her friends to come to the station for an interview, hopeful that they could put a name to the killer's face.
You guys know why you're here. Do you understand? Right. We are investigating what happened to your sister. What do you know about what happened?
I was at home. I was supposed to meet her downtown. But then, literally, like 30 minutes after they got downtown, I got a call, and then it was like, well, Kaji got shot. And I was like, what? By who?
Okay. I'm gonna show you a video. I just want you guys to tell me who it is. Okay.
Yes, that's just like him. And why is he not? That's irritating. Clear as day.
18-year-old Josiah Pittman is a troubled teenager who also happens to attend the same high school as Lakaija and her siblings. He lives in a rough...
She saw that shit. Josiah Pittman, like, Buzz, you not trying to hide yourself.
...neighborhood in Grand Rapids where gun violence is common and death is frequent.
How do you know Joe?
I knew him since I was in middle school. I'm telling you, that was every day.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
we had
what?
almost every single class together. Like,
Oh, really?
yes.
Okay.
But we still like kept in touch. Like even after Lakaja died, I did text him and kept everything cordial. Like I didn't even know nothing. I just asked him on the phone like, "You killed Lakaja?" And he told me no. He lied. So, but I, I will go and identify that boy. I will go if he go to court for this. I'm gonna be at every single one. I don't care. And at least I'm gonna go knowing that I spoke up for Lakaja. And has he even been brought in?
We still have enough evidence right now.
Even though this was a step in the right direction, they couldn't arrest Josiah until a witness that was actually at the crime scene could confirm that he was the shooter. The problem was that none of the witnesses were coming forward. So, on July 1st, 2024, the Grand Rapids Police Department released this surveillance footage on their social media. In the footage, Josiah's 5 friends can be seen, 4 males and 1 female. They appeared to be high school kids, possibly in their late teens. The same day they shared this clip, Police Chief Eric Windstrom held a press conference urging the community to help identify the people in the video.
We lose a 15-year-old to gun violence in downtown Grand Rapids. That falls on the whole city. We have video evidence which shows that these 5 individuals were absolutely within feet of the murderer, saw what happened, saw who pulled the trigger, and they saw Lakaija get killed. And we need to hear from them.
I don't know if they saw Lakaija get killed. He's gassing that. Because we saw the video, they all started running after the nigga started shooting because they didn't think the nigga was going to shoot. So y'all can't charge him.
We need to talk to them. And we need the adults in Grand Rapids, the parents, the teachers, to help us.
Harboring a fugitive you can get charged with.
These individuals,
I don't think he's hiding at their houses.
Help us and do the right thing.
Shortly after this press conference, the police department received a call from someone claiming to know one of the people in the surveillance footage. Thanks to the information the caller provided, Detective Romero was able to identify this girl. He was eager to interview her, so he went to the girl's house to speak with her mother.
Of course, the white girl.
Hello, how are ya?
Do you have a daughter by chance? You could explain to her she's not a suspect. Okay? But it is very important that we talk to her, okay? Tell her, give me a call. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Take care.
Although the girl's mother seemed cooperative, 20 days passed with no word from the witness, and the investigators were beginning to lose their patience. Detective Romero decided to contact the witness's mother again, this time by phone. And he explained that there could be serious implications if her daughter didn't tell the police what she knew.
Scare tactic. It's not. Is it illegal to record calls? I'm pretty sure it is.
Hey, how are you? Well, I can explain a lot of things to you that will probably ease your mind. There was a homicide that occurred down in the city of Grand Rapids, and I've identified your daughter as being one of the, I'm going to call her a witness because that's what she is. I can tell you this right now. She was within feet of the individual who fired the shots. And now, do I believe she knew that it was going to happen? I don't. And that's just based on body language, but she was with the suspect. She just needs to understand that I am investigating a violent crime. If you lie during a violent crime investigation, you can be charged with it. Okay. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
The wheels were now in motion, and it seemed like a witness interview was finally going to happen. But before the interview could take place, somebody called the police department reporting a stolen vehicle, a seemingly unrelated incident. It didn't take long for the officers patrolling the streets to track it down. They pulled the vehicle over, and as they approached it, two people hopped out and booked it.
They're bailing. Rosemary and Everett.
Huh?
Hey, stop! Please, stop!
The two suspects were surrounded, so they began cutting through random properties and hopping fences.
Stop! Two northbound. They're back there.
The officers were right on.
Niggas be killing niggas.
They were able to catch up to one of the perpetrators.
Rosemary and Everett.
They pulled the finally going to happen, but
And that's just based on body language, but she was with the suspect. She just needs to understand that I am investigating a violent crime. If you lie during a violent crime investigation, you can be charged with it.
So if she doesn't talk, she's not gonna be charged. What are you talking about?
Okay. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
the wheels were
Scare tactic, like I said.
Like a witness interview was
You gotta watch the wording.
But before the interview could take place, somebody called the police department reporting a stolen vehicle, a seemingly unrelated incident. It didn't take long for the officers patrolling the streets to track it down. They pulled the vehicle over, and as they approached it, two people hopped out and booked it.
They're bailing.
Oh my god. Y'all stole a car, right? You get pulled over in the stolen car and you choose to hop out the car and run? Yo, did you hear what I just said? You heard what I just said too? Niggas stole a car, got pulled over. Instead of, okay, you got three options: go to jail, drive off with the car, or get out the car and run. They chose get out the car and run. Yo, you had a better chance driving the car. Yo, what? This is crazy, bro. This is how you know these niggas in high school. These are little niggas, bro. Shooting, killing people, stealing cars. Like, it's unbelievable.
The two suspects were surrounded, so they began cutting through random properties and hopping fences.
Stop! Two northbound. Through backyards.
The officers were right on their heels. Eventually, they were able to catch up to one of the perpetrators and tackle him to the ground.
Damn, one got low, one got arrested.
What's your name, man? Josiah. What's your last name, Josiah? Pittman. What is it? Pittman.
So, and then the nigga that made the murder a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, he's the nigga that's the slow one and gets caught while the other nigga gets off. Oh my god.
The officer had no idea who Josiah Pittman was until he checked his record. And
He fried himself, so he went to jail for the stolen car. While he was in jail for the stolen car, he didn't know he was about to get smacked with the murder charge. He thought he was gonna go home, like, maybe one day I'll go home. Nah. Boom, smack with the murder charge. Done out.
Suspect in Latasha's murder.
Not going home.
Alright, man, you can step on out.
Josiah was closely monitored, while Detective Romero was informed that his murder suspect was in custody for an unrelated charge. Although this seemed like good news, they still hadn't sat down with the witness to confirm that Josiah was the shooter. So they decided not to mention the murder investigation. They charged him for stealing the car and fleeing from the police, and Josiah was released on bond. Soon after,
They released him on bond for running. But then they released him, then they're gonna smack him with it. So they released him on bond for stealing the car and fleeing from the police.
After this incident, the detective was finally able to sit down with the witness. She believed the shooter was in the car with her on the night of the murder, but she wasn't certain.
Okay, this guy, the guy that had a balaclava, a white balaclava, was he sitting in the front passenger seat of the car? Where were you sitting again?
I was in the driver's seat.
Did you know anybody had any weapons inside the car? Did anybody talk about having any weapons? No. Okay. So just on this picture, I just want to make sure I'm clarifying. The guy that had a balaclava. Don't know his name, but front seat passenger. And you're certain that the other individuals that were in the car, you don't know them by any type of names. Okay.
Well, I didn't expect him like this to happen.
Right. Did he have this face mask on the entire time? No. So if you were to see a picture of him, would you be able to tell me that the person who's in the car? Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you the video here captured from the downtown area. I just want you to tell me if you recognize the individual. It's only a 9-second clip, okay?
Just the dude that was in the passenger.
Okay.
The detective finally had what he needed for an arrest, a witness who confirmed that Josiah Pittman was the shooter. Investigators quickly tracked Josiah down to a residence in South Grand Rapids, and Detective Romero assembled a fleet of cruisers, a K-9 unit, and a SWAT team to execute his arrest. A drone was also deployed, so if anybody went in or out of the house, law enforcement would know. Suddenly, one of the units noticed somebody down the street that looked like Josiah.
S1 is walking southbound, all black with red shoes on. Being on an SRT, want to make initial contact, please. Moving in.
The units surrounding the house stood by, while the SWAT team moved in on Josiah.
He's compliant.
However, it was a false alarm. The person they saw was just a random guy. So, the officers surrounding the residence were given the green light, and they ordered Josiah to come outside.
Josiah, we have a K-9 on scene. Do not attempt to flee. We're not here to hurt you. Do as you're told. You will not be harmed. Exit the front door with your hands up. Hands up! Hands up! Put your hands on your head! Hands on your head! Put your hands right back up.
Josiah slowly exited the house, carefully following the SWAT team's demands.
Start walking towards us. Just listen to what we say. Got him.
He was put in handcuffs and placed into the back of a police cruiser.
Lean back.
They transported him straight to the police station and brought him into the interrogation room for questioning.
Do you have any idea why you're here? At all? I just want to bring your attention back to May 18th, and it's specifically in the downtown Grand Rapids area. Do you remember anything about being down there? No. No. Did you happen to hear about a 15-year-old girl being shot in the downtown area? Yes. You did see that? You think should happen to the person that shot that girl? You don't know? This entire incident was captured on camera. And I want to hear your side of the story as to what happened. I want to hear it from Josiah Pittman. You don't recall? Do you recall being there? Is it possible you were there? You were not down there? You don't know? This is your opportunity. What's that? I don't remember. You don't remember?
Detective Romero's emotions were already running high, with Lakaija's killer sitting right in front of him. And Josiah playing dumb was only making things worse. But the detective kept his cool and decided to...
I don't know if it's making it worse for him or making the detective bad.
Confront him with screenshots of the surveillance footage.
I'm gonna show you a picture. Who's that?
So you're going to stick with a story that you know nothing about it, you were not down there, after I just showed you 6 pictures of you downtown Grand Rapids. That's your story. Hello? Yes or no? Thumbs up. Okay, yes. This is no longer juvenile stuff, buddy.
Do you know how severe this is? And you're okay with it? You're okay with eating a murder charge? All I can say is we have a 15-year-old girl now that's dead. I don't think she's the target. There's more to this story. This is why your opportunity right now to tell us the more to the story.
I have no story to tell.
Clearly, Josiah had no remorse for gunning down an innocent person. The detectives took his silence as their cue to end the interview. He was booked into the county jail, and the authorities held a press conference announcing his arrest.
Over this past weekend, the Grand Rapids Police have arrested Josiah Tyree Pittman, and my office has filed charges against Mr. Pittman for that homicide that occurred back in May.
15-year-old girl who was...
Depending on the evidence, bro, to be completely honest, they don't have the gun. The witness just said, yeah, he was in the passenger seat, never gave the name, didn't state a name. They haven't found the clothes he was wearing. But the picture, the surveillance picture is gonna it's gonna look like him. But if you get a lawyer, a good lawyer, obviously you're gonna finesse that. But there needs to be more information to come out from the police side to really seal this case without any sliver room of him beating it.
In downtown Grand Rapids is gunned down, and the family was devastated. Absolutely heartbreaking, absolutely tragic, absolutely avoidable. We are not going to be the city that tolerates one of our children getting murdered and not following through.
At Josiah's arraignment hearing, the judge read out his charges, but Josiah didn't seem concerned whatsoever. In fact, he seemed bored.
The crime is called homicide, murder, second degree, which in the state of Michigan is a life offense or any term of years. It is alleged that you did carry or have in your possession a firearm to wit a handgun at the time you committed or attempted to commit a felony.
He pled not guilty to his charges and was denied bond. Although Josiah initially maintained his innocence, he later admitted to being the shooter and changed his plea to guilty. His sentencing took place on October 8, 2025, 6 days after his 20th birthday. He had a smirk on his face as he sat down with his defense team. Lakaija's mom, Shakita Matheson, had the opportunity to speak to the court, and she urged the judge to hold her daughter's killer accountable.
Lakaija's death did not only take my daughter, it shook my entire family. My other children are grieving deeply and live in fear that the same thing might happen to them. I lost my son in 2011 to an unexplained death, and while the pain is unimaginable, the loss has been even harder to cope with my daughter. I hope the person responsible is held accountable for their actions. I share this not out of anger, but out of honesty, to make sure my daughter's life, my pain, our family's experience is truly heard and remembered. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
In response, Josiah's attorneys did everything they could to vouch for their client, explaining that Lakaija's death was the result of Josiah's trauma-filled upbringing.
Mr. Pittman is a person who was a child in our community, who was raised in this community, who was subjected to incredible difficulty as a young individual, as a young child. He saw his parents being incarcerated. He saw days where he had no parent oversight. He was often moved from home to home. When you have a young child who is at a young age looking out his window and seeing a gunman try to shoot another person, when you're having a young young person who knows that individuals that he is closely associated with are involved in gang violence, and knows that because of his connection to those individuals that he is a target, that he has in fact been targeted in the past. It created an immense trauma mindset, to be quite frank, and it created a situation for Josiah where he felt he was in constant threat of gun violence.
So how does it stop? How does the cycle, I mean, generation to generation, or at least in this case?
Your Honor, I wish I had an answer. And
Same here.
And I think the reality is, I've known Mr. Pittman for a year now since he got arrested on this, and slowly over time, he opened up. And the first ways that he opened up was showing profound remorse. Mr. Pittman's remorse is true.
Josiah was also asked if he had anything to say. He read the message he had written aloud, apologizing to Lakaja's family for his actions.
First, I want to apologize to the victim and the victim's family for the sinful act that I committed causing them great crime. Even though Lakaja was not my intended target, I was known nonetheless for letting the devil take control of my actions on that horrible day. I hope that Lakaja's family and friends can find it in their heart to forgive me. I understand them fully if they refuse to do so, because forgiveness is the gift that I honestly do not deserve.
After taking everybody's statements into consideration, the judge handed down Josiah's sentence.
It's going to be the sentence of this court. So you should be committed to Michigan Department of Corrections to first serve the 2 years on a felony firearm. Consecutive to that charge, you will serve a minimum of 300 months to a maximum of 600 months in the Michigan Department of Corrections for the second-degree murder.
Josiah Tyree Pittman was sentenced to a minimum of 27 years and a maximum of 52 years in prison. For some reason, Josiah couldn't help but smile and laugh to himself for the rest of the hearing, a reaction that made his heartfelt apology feel much less sincere. He was taken to the Charles Eagler Reception and Guidance Center, where he currently resides. His earliest release date is in the year 2051, while his maximum discharge date is in the year 2076. Things will never be the same for Lakaja's family, but although her death has caused them indescribable pain, they continue to celebrate her life every day, reminding others of the special person she was.
Lakaja Williams' photo printed on a shirt her sister, Limia Foster, wears.
My baby. I'm gonna cry, I'm sorry.
Memories are all that's left of her little sister.
My favorite memory with her is when I showed her my birth video, and she just started gagging, like just gagging. But she came to the hospital with my baby. She would not hold my baby because she's like, it's too small, it's too small.
It's like almost not believable. You don't really believe it until you actually see the person, and still it's just like, it feel like she gonna walk through the door anytime.
Lamia Foster says her sister loved basketball, all things fashion, and a good joke.
She was goofy. That's what you could describe her as. She laughed at everything. She was a happy person, the happiest person I know.